Welcome to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. We're friends that met in kindergarten and we love to travel. Now we're sharing our experiences and inspiring you to explore. Whether you're traveling by sea, in a train, flying high, or road tripping, it's time to hit the road with Mo and Joy. Hello and welcome to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy podcast. I am Joy.
And I'm Mo.
Hi Mo, how's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
Good. I am excited to talk more about Ireland.
Yes.
And our second and maybe third day. It depends on how much we have to talk about.
Yes, I agree. But at least we'll get through day 2 and talk about everything we did, how it went.
We packed a lot into that trip.
We really did. But I never felt like we were completely exhausted.
No, but we bit the apple.
We
for
did.
Sure. We did not leave grass growing under our feet. But we weren't rushed either.
Correct. I definitely think we had a really good balance. We wanted to do the things, and we did the things, but we weren't rushing and we weren't exhausted. We also stopped and literally smelled a lot of the roses.
Yes. And we were not so heavily scheduled that we felt like we were behind or rushed. And again, like you say, we were able to smell the roses and all the other little pretty flowers that they have over there.
Yes, that I have no idea what the names are, but I took a lot of pictures. The key thing that I know I took was the hydrangeas. We have them here locally. They were just...
But they look different over there.
Well, they were like ginormous.
Right. They're very happy.
They are very happy.
In that climate.
Yes. So, let's dig in. Our day 2, for planning purposes, was arriving to Dublin, doing a little bit there, driving up to Carlingford, and then ultimately landing in Lisburn, which took us into Northern Ireland. So we, for whatever reason, decided to cross-country road trip counterclockwise.
Yes.
And definitely wanted to make sure that we got in Northern Ireland initially because, Joy, your first go-around, you did not go up north at all. Isn't that right?
Correct. 10 years earlier or so, a friend and I had gone to like the southern portion of it. We did a southern loop.
Okay.
And
that's
yes,
what I thought.
I definitely wanted to go to Northern Ireland this time, and we were able to.
Awesome. All right, well, let's take a deep dive and see how day 1, following the flight over the pond, as they call it. We talked a lot last podcast about expectations for the rental cars. I will just throw out there that we were able to secure a lovely Volvo, I will call it like a mini SUV type of a situation. It was very comfortable. It did accommodate all 4 of our bags, which was important, and it was an automatic. So if you guys are wondering why that's important, please head back to episode 1, and we talked through some very practical things that are useful for you to know as you are planning for your Ireland trip. So after we left the airport, we had the opportunity for my husband Alex to get acclimated driving on the opposite side of the road as well as the opposite side of the car. It was a little bumpy at first. We had already pre-selected a place that we were interested in trying for breakfast. It wound up being a lovely, lovely selection called Ebb and Flow Cafe. It had alfresco seating out front. I remember, Joy, we weren't feeling that. We went in all the way to the back. We all enjoyed some amazing meals. It was beautifully decorated, clean. And I think that was really our first time gaining a little bit of practical experience in public areas using the bathroom.
The toilet.
Yeah. Yes. It is more commonly called the toilet over there. And I have vague recollections of not all toilets being equal. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I'm sure we'll get to that whenever we get there, but I think my son actually wanted to pay for a toilet that was completely enclosed in like a city square.
It was a public toilet, yeah.
And he just wanted the experience, which cracked me up. So definitely be aware that the bathroom situation, toilet situation is a little bit different, and that's okay. Because we had our car.
And you should always be prepared and have your own cleaning devices just in case, because a lot of these places do not have said things. So women always have a backup.
Yes, Joy, we actually have a very specific funny story that we'll share in a couple of episodes.
But we're not talking about it today.
Not today, no. The great thing is, because we're both planners and we both spent a lot of time and energy preparing for this trip, we had picked out one of multiple cathedrals or churches, and so we were able to actually just walk from Ebb and Flow Cafe, and we selected St. Kevin's Church, which just wound up being so full of history. The actual details were just, there's just no words other than breathtaking. It was built between 1869 and 1872. Be sure to check our website, and we will post a couple of those pictures on there. And then, of course, the timing's not going to actually completely add up because I post such a variety of travel content on Hit the Road with Mo Instagram. But we also have those images out there for you to take a look at. It was just stunning, though, Joy. And we were all kind of in awe.
Yes, absolutely. The stained glass.
Yes.
Was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And we had gone in the morning. Mm-hmm. By the time we had gotten there, so it was getting the morning light. Yeah. And the level of decoration and the thought that was put into the architecture Indeed. Of this building was so beautiful. And of course the materials they used, the marble and all these other things that I probably don't know the name of. But just a true representation of, would it be Gothic? I don't know exactly, but it was just so beautiful and
breathtaking, right?
So different than things that you see here in the United States, but mm-hmm. such thoughtful design.
I completely agree with that. I mean, even my son was silenced and taking it all in.
Right.
So it was just a beautiful church, and I from my perspective, I didn't feel like it necessarily stood out in terms of if you're looking at, going to churches, because Joy, I think there's a lot of churches scattered all across Ireland. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. But we just wound up selecting this one because it was in walking distance of the cafe that we had selected, and just highly recommend it. So take that for what it is. After that is when the true road trip really kicked off, and we drove up to Carlingford. I had done some initial research on this, and I had seen that there were some connections to the author C.S. Lewis, and there was also apparently some statues and whatnot connected to his Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe book.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we wound up missing some of that, and we wound up really enjoying the coastline, and so we decided to not stray from that. But the coast was beautiful, and we did take in a ruin, St. John's, and it definitely was a ruin to a degree.
Right.
Definitely. We saw beautiful flowers here, of which I have no idea what the names are. And then we also stumbled across a very, very old and well-storied cemetery that had lots and lots and lots of history. Some other general comments that I would just make, Joy, please be gathering yours, is it was clean, it was lovely, everything you could kind of smell like the fresh air from the coastline, and it began kind of the floral fest for me. You know, I love my flowers. I'm always getting pictures of flowers on all of my travels. And I think I would say throughout our entire trip, most of the little towns just did such a beautiful job of having their lovely, colorful window boxes.
Right. And it seems like in all the towns, really, they were just taking such pride in their homes,
Mm-hmm.
in their gardens.
Yes, I agree with that. Everything is just, for the most part, beautiful, fresh, lively. I can think of one or two instances where that vibe was lacking, and I think that was a little bit of a surprise to us that we were not anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite memory from Carlingford was kind of stepping more into, and it was obviously completely by accident, but Mikey was dying, my son, to have fish and chips, and of course it's like, dude, we're day one, but
You do not have to have fish and chips for day one.
but the funny thing is, chips were French fries. So
Right.
over here, it's like chips are like a potato chip. But over there, it was like a French fry. And it was so funny to watch him realize.
Oh, he didn't know that.
I don't think he knew that initially.
Aw.
But it was kind of funny. But we wound up, after doing like all of our walking and, you know, getting some good exercise, we were kind of seeing what there was to eat. And so we came upon this fish and chips place, and I think you and I weren't feeling it. We got some pizza, if I recall.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of choices there.
There weren't. And what was very interesting is you couldn't sit in the little restaurant. So we wound up finding this beautifully clean alleyway, and there were all these brightly painted, we would call here in the U.S. picnic benches. So, you know, it wasn't like a super long alleyway, but there were a couple little pubs and things that were crammed in there. And then if you kind of look down the alleyway, there were multiple seating areas. So we grabbed the bench and we're waiting for the boys to bring the food. And next thing we know, they're just playing all of these, what I would call oldies music, American oldies music.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so interesting to hear, like, everything from the 60s to the 80s. And the people that were a little bit further down for us, more situated around the pub,
The locals.
yes, they were chatting it up, having their, do they call them pints?
Yes.
Okay.
They were singing along.
They were, and having just great fun. So it was really cool for us. Day one experience, and we're situated in a small coastal town with the locals, and it felt like we were experiencing real life there. And that's what I love to call the good stuff, Joy.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't replace those experiences if you don't get yourself out of the quote unquote touristy
Mm-hmm.
scenarios only.
That was one of my favorite moments of the whole trip, was you having this aha moment and this realization and you calling out the good stuff. And the good stuff is not something that you can plan, that you can put your finger on, that you can create.
Yes.
It just is.
Yes.
And like you say, you've got to put yourself out there. And I guess we would tell you to do this in life too.
Right.
But you have to step out, be brave, go. You just have to go.
Right. Do
And
your
try stuff.
exploring. I mean, obviously within boundaries and parameters, right? Like, we're not super risky people. We're not saying, you know, put yourself in any type of semi-dangerous situation by any stretch of the means, because, you know, don't misconstrue what we're saying. This is about having the experiences, living the moment, and realizing, oh my gosh, we are actually on our trip, we're living it, we're experiencing it. And it was that kind of aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that it was so cool that that was day one.
Yep.
And I feel like that really set the tone for the rest of our trip. What about you?
Absolutely. And how I go into travel these days, especially international travel, I'm not planning to go to the tourist places. I'm not usually planning to go get the tickets to do the thing. It's more going to see the things that I don't know that I need to see. It's going and experiencing the people in a way that I don't know or understand, that I'll want to experience them.
Yes. Yes, so with that in mind, if anyone is expecting for us to have a review of like the famous
Disney World
Guinness,
of,
yes,
or the Guinness Storehouse.
that,
Yes.
or the Blarney, I'm certainly not taking.
She didn't even know what the Blarney Stone was. Can you
Oh
believe
my
that?
gosh, I can't believe you're calling me that. Rude. We intentionally chose not to do those things just for the pure sake of having more of the road trip. Have your plan, which we've definitely planned, but be open to the experiences that you're going to encounter. That was kind of the spirit of our Ireland trip.
Yes.
It was just so sweet that it happened day one. So yeah, after we thoroughly enjoyed our front row seat and enjoyed, you know, the locals chatting with us and getting acclimated, we headed up into the north, up into Lisburn. We stayed at the McKee farmhouse up there for 2 nights. There were some scary moments with the drive. That's when we really first started experiencing what we thought were the tight roads. However, we can assure you that several days later, indeed, there were even
Tighter.
Yes. But our front yard was full of cows.
Yes.
And Joy was super excited.
Cows are lovely, but cow smells are not.
However, what's the first thing you did after we parked?
Went and talked to the cows.
I have pictures of Joy talking to the cows. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure that needs to make the website.
Yes.
Moo.
Moo.
I will admit that this trip was a sweet gesture by my husband to celebrate mine and Joy's milestone birthday last year. And so some of the people, when you secure Airbnbs, it's not uncommon for the homeowners to ask you, hey, why are you coming this way? Or are you celebrating a special occasion? And the owner of this home, who was Miss Louise, she had asked me that, and I probably months before, and didn't even remember it, said, hey, it's me and my friend's milestone birthday and blah, blah, blah. And wouldn't you know, Joy, wasn't she just the sweetest?
Yes.
I mean, she had hung happy birthday banners for us. We had a box of chocolates with a happy birthday note waiting for us. And then the wonderful staples in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit taken aback. First of all, I laugh when I remember, Joy, that is the smallest jug of milk I have ever seen in my life.
It was so petite and so cute.
It was literally like a jug, though, not a carton. It literally had the little circle thingy on it, and it was, what is this, like maybe
4 inches?
4 to 6 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious, but there was the most ginormous, golly, what would you call it? A slab of butter? It wasn't a stick of butter.
No.
It was like a double stick of butter slab. I'll say that.
And it was that good Irish butter.
Yes. So for me, it was my first introduction to the brown Irish bread, the jam, and the butter. And y'all, for those of us here in the States that have been hearing forever, don't eat the butter, leave the bread, all of those things. Let me tell y'all, we learned some extremely interesting and valuable lessons about the quality of food, the taste of food, and the impact of food to your bodies. We might do a brief discussion about that, so I don't want to deep dive too much because we can get a little bit nerdy and excited about those topics. But for me, with my specific GI issues that I have, it was an absolute revelation for me to experience bread. And dude, it's not just like it spread a little butter on. Oh no. It is, you get a big chunk of butter and you coat your bread liberally. Right?
It's so good.
It is. It's so good. And you guys, honestly, like, I can admit I lost, like, I can't remember, it was 10 or 12 pounds on my 2-week trip
I didn't remember
to
that.
Ireland. Oh, I do. Because
Yeah.
it was just such a big deal.
Yeah.
And
And you didn't skimp and you didn't
No.
deny yourself. And in
Nope.
fact, in some ways you were indulgent, if
Yes.
you will. Yeah.
yeah, so that has stuck with me, just the whole way through. But that arrival, and that really kicked off our embracing kind of the local staple of food and like the normal day-to-day palate of the Irish people. And y'all, I loved it.
Yes. You kept going back for, I'm going to have another slice.
Yeah, I would toast it. And Mikey's like a huge butter guy. He has been since he was little. So he was like, loving that. And then, of course, the Irish cheese. There was usually cheese everywhere. And so that made Alex super happy. So, yeah, I mean, that was just another great introduction to some local things. And, honestly, the house was just such a comfortable farmhouse. We did run into a little bit of a blip when it comes to the internet. And Miss Louise was just great and accommodating, was able to help us with the situation.
Yes, the situation that I caused.
I don't remember that you caused it.
No.
What happened?
I plugged in my hairdryer.
Oh my God, you did.
And I tripped the circuits and didn't realize that I'd done it. And one of the circuits that I tripped was the one that had the internet. So when you thought that you were online and connected to Wi-Fi, you were not. So you kept doing the Verizon thing that made them charge you, what, $10 a day?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that thing. Yes.
Well, that's important to talk about, though.
It
for our
really
listeners.
is.
If you're abroad and you're on Verizon and you connect to the internet and you say accept or okay or whatever, every time you're doing that, every day, they're going to charge you another $10, $15. I don't know exactly. But my friend Colette has learned that you can go in and change your plan for a week or a month or whatever, go to the international plan, and then when you get back to the States, back down. And that's actually cheaper if you're doing a long trip.
Yes, I mean, I did get very upset about the Verizon thing because I thought that we had done the planning ahead of time, and our initial plan was going to be only utilize our phones when we had access to Wi-Fi. And that did not necessarily work. So if you have not considered the mobile aspect or your data plan, definitely do take care of it. And I will tell you that I was successful. Verizon was really good to work with me, and we got that resolved, and some of the charges dropped. But that, those are all the practical things that sometimes you think about, and sometimes it is an unpleasant surprise. You can't always plan for everything.
Right.
So speaking of planning, we had another surprise that first night at the house, Joy. And then we had an additional surprise the next day. So some other interesting things that you can consider if you're going to enjoy more out of the way Airbnbs or country houses. Some of these establishments have electric showers. And there's like cords that come down.
Right.
And buttons to press.
And timers to turn on.
And no written instructions.
No.
So first of all, I will admit I didn't know that there was such a thing as an electric shower.
Right, because who knows?
Did you experience that on your first trip?
I don't remember experiencing that. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess that you guys probably stayed more in hotels.
Yes.
There are such a thing as an electric shower. The farmhouse was actually not the only place that we encountered. We encountered that at least one or two other places that we stayed throughout our trip. Yes, depending upon where you are, what type of place you stay at, you may get some interesting education on how to operate an electric shower. Joy, why don't you tell them about the other interesting education for those that are staying extended and need to wash their clothes? The look on your face.
We did not wash our clothes the first couple of days, but I think 3 or 4 days in, we encountered an all-in-one washer-dryer set. And I have a niece that has one of those, but I've never used it or thought about it. But the operating instructions are very different. For that, again, there are no written instructions. Finally, when we start Googling, and I'm just going to pull up the schematic for it, That's not helpful either.
No, and to compound that, the owner didn't know how to tell us to use it either.
Right. So we had washed clothes, but
yes,
they were still wet, and
we had to do a lot of air drying. So, as a warning for those going over from the U.S., be aware of, not only was it a bit challenging to operate the combos, but they are significantly smaller in accommodating load size.
Right.
So we were washing like 10 items at a time.
Right.
For 4 people.
Pick and choose.
I can honestly admit that at least 3 separate times we had to, thankfully, we did it midway through the stay of wherever we were, and we had to leave our clothes out to dry.
Right.
So not ideal if you are in a situation where you don't have the time for that occur, right?
Thankfully, it never rained on us either, so we were able to air dry stuff.
That was really crazy because we had been told to anticipate rain, and I think your first trip, you got rain, right? Okay. So we rounded out our first day. Obviously, I was very good that day. I journaled all of our experiences. I made the commitment while we were gone because I did want to be present. I knew that I would write in my journal, and then I had committed to posting 1 a days from wherever we were on the Instagram. So check out the website for our pictures. We are going to make sure that it follows the path of the podcast just for your comfort, but there's also original content out on Instagram. We did not shut down that first full day until 10:52 p.m. Ireland time. We were really just trying to tire ourselves out, get as far ahead as we could of the jet lag. And I feel like we were pretty successful, Joy.
Yes, because we had each traveled internationally before. We knew about the impacts of jet lag and all that. But your son, who is new to travel internationally, was not aware of that at all. And we found him sleeping a lot in the car and on the rides and things like that. He thought he could power through and muscle past the jet lag, but no son, you can't.
That is very, very true. As a matter of fact, when we left the airport and got to our breakfast, day 1 in Dublin, I think I have a picture of him not being able to really make it through breakfast.
He fell asleep.
He put his head down on the table and took a little bit of a doze. Not recommended. And, he spent the whole flight power watching movies.
Right.
So, a word to the wise.
Yes.
Well, Joy, did we miss anything for day 2?
I think we have covered it.
Awesome. Well, guys, for more details and pictures, go check out our website, and we will see you on the next podcast where we talk a little bit more about Lisburn. We go into Bushmill and Island McGee, and I'm excited, Joy, to talk about some of those. We had some excellent experiences those places.
Yes, those were fun days.
Absolutely. And we got in some crazy activity that you found for us.
Yes, absolutely. So join us next time. We will be excited to share day 3 with you. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Hit the Road with Mo and Joy. If you have questions or topic suggestions, we would love to hear from you. You can connect with us through our website at hittheroadwithmoandjoy.com. On the website, you'll find all the things: socials, blogs, recommendations, inspiration, and things you might need to know for upcoming travel. And if you'd like to partner or advertise with us and connect with our amazing audience across the country, feel free to reach out to us at hittheroadwithmoandjoy.com/media. That's it from us this week, but don't forget, get out there and explore.